Here on the Radio Whammo Breakfast. Time for ads, social media and aeroplanes with Vaughn Davis at tgf.co.nz. Vaughn, you have to put that phone away.
But it's relevant. It's relevant. Okay, I'm looking at an app, man.
Relevant.
We'll come back to the phone later.
First up, though, looking at advertising and some experiential advertising that went viral this week.
Yeah, it did.
What is it?
In fact, we're not looking at it. We're looking at nothing. We're looking at an invisible car. This is the Mercedes, the Mercedes F-Cell, which is some sort of, hydrogen-powered, runs on poo. I don't know what the technology behind it is.
They came up with a car.
Yeah, they
had
came
to sell
up with this car, right? And some dude in the agency said, "Well, geez, I looked at the award entry categories for Cannes last year, and Ambient was it's wide open. Let's do a bit of that." And they had this idea, which must have been sitting on the back shelf for a while. Let's cloak this thing with LEDs.
Yeah, on one side.
One side to make it like a giant, a little Mercedes-sized TV screen. And then on the other side, facing away from the viewer, let's put a Canon 5D camera, and then
one side looks crap, the other side
looks really crap. Scaffolding and cameras. And
yeah.
And then on the LED side, let's display what the camera's seeing. So if you're facing the LED side of the car and you're looking straight at it, it's like you're seeing through it, which is pretty cute. And then they sort of shoehorned in this line that the Mercedes F-Cell is invisible to the environment. Invisible to the environment. Yeah,
invisible to other drivers as well.
LED. Yeah, you wouldn't want to be driving one of these on the 25th when the giveaway laws change here in New Zealand, because it's a pretty good defence.
Yeah,
I didn't see it. It looked like the dairy behind it.
I seriously didn't see it. Okay. It's obviously worked. 4.5 million views on YouTube.
Oh yeah, it's cute
as
hell. It's one of those ones that looks a bit like those flying people we looked at the other week for. What was that movie?
That
one. It was a good movie. No one went to see the movie, but the flying people on that, they look better on the video than they would have in real life. And I think because of its requirement to look at it absolutely straight on, this so-called invisible car. Much the same, but pretty cool.
Indeed. Into social media now, and this is kind of like a wee preview of what you think might be happening at South by Southwest when you go.
Yeah. So this is all the buzz, people, is about ambient location apps, and we're all familiar with Foursquare and Facebook Places and bits and pieces like that that are based on specific real-world places and checking into them.
Yeah.
Well, ambient location apps are based on the location of people, a little bit stalky, and the idea being that they're a way to connect you with people who you either know, and that's okay, but more interestingly, from people who you don't know, but you probably should. And
probably should.
According
to the app.
According to the algorithm.
Yeah.
And the idea is there are two main containers. One's called Glancy and one's called Highlight. And they both work kind of the same. There are a couple of differences. Both of them, you share your Facebook data with them, so that's all your likes, all your friends, all your interests. And based on that, they connect you with people in the vicinity that they think you might be interested in. Highlight's pretty straightforward. It's just constantly pinging your location, and up comes There's Whammo, who he's a great guy, you should go over and talk to him. Or there's Brian, who's also interested in helicopters, budgerigars and cheesecake, just like you. You should go talk to him. And it displays where Brian is on a map.
Rather not.
Kind of interesting.
No.
Yeah, well, I don't know.
I'd rather not.
Glancy's a little bit less creepy. It just tells you that there's, this guy Brian is within, 2 miles, and would you like to send Brian a message? And then
would you like to go on a hunt for him?
Yeah, go on a Brian hunt. And if you choose to, if you choose to meet up, that's cool. Glancy's pretty clever. It does this thing where because your interests on Facebook, you might not have necessarily listed all the things you're actually interested in. So Glancy scrapes your interests and scrapes Brian's interests, and using Wikipedia
creates a new person.
Well, no, it creates it deduces what you might both be interested in. So if you're interested in The Sopranos, it thinks you might also be interested in Mad Men, or if you're interested in I don't know, Hamburgers, I think she might be interested in pizza, and it's a little bit sophisticated in that way. But the big money is on these being the big thing at South by Southwest. But they're not alone. I was having a look in the Ambient location sandpit. You've also got a whole raft of things. You've got Join, Mingle, Gatsby, Banjo, Blender, Unsocial, Shout Flow, and a bunch more. So it's taken off. Maybe it's a fad. There's a fantastic quote I found this morning, unattributed. But it said, this guy said, "Seems like a fad, but if it gets people laid, it's huge."
Wow.
And he or she, whoever said that, I think is quite right, because one way or another, these apps can lead to a lot of
random hookups at South by Southwest
that might not otherwise have happened.
Yeah. Keep that phone in your pocket, Vaughn.
I will.
And when are you going? Next week?
I'm going tomorrow, man.
Tomorrow.
Yeah,
Crikey.
yeah. I'll be there next week.
So next time we talk to you, we'll be at
next time you talk to me, we'll be live from Texas, along with estimated up to 100,000 other punters.
Yeah.
Strolling the streets of Austin.
All chewing up the broadband.
All chewing out the broadband, and if they're using Highlight, chewing out the battery, my phone lasts about 3 hours.
Yeah, on that
damn thing,
because it's constantly
GPS all the time.
Exactly.
But yeah, 100,000 people, 20,000 people interactive alone. But there's also music. There's also film. So there's something like 2,000 bands playing. 2,000 bands. Which is pretty impressive.
And you're going to be there for music?
Yeah, I'll be there for some, about half of the music. This is where Flight of the Conchords broke into the North American market.
Yeah, true.
I'll bring it in next week or week after. There's a 10-minute Flight of the Conchords in Texas documentary which they made about South by Southwest, which I'd never seen. Very cool.
Finally, onto aeroplanes. A big old crash.
It's not a new crash,
No.
but it's a relevant crash because the Oaxaca Air Show is coming up 31st of March.
Gosh, that's a positive thought.
It is. But I've never seen a C17 displayed. C-17's a big aeroplane. It's sort of the mainstay of the Antarctic run these days. It's sort of halfway between a thing called Galaxy, which was like a huge aeroplane, and a lovely old Hercules. So it's a 4-engine jet.
You can fit a Herc into a Galaxy, can't you? If you folded it up.
If you folded it up.
Yeah.
It's like Transformers. if you melted it down, reduced it to its molecular componentry. Don't know. But the C-17, the Royal Air Force runs them, the US Air Force runs them, and the Australian Air Force runs them. And they're going to have one across at Oaxaca, and that'll be worth heading on down just to see that thing handled.
And let's hope it doesn't crash like it did in Alaska.
I think the moral is, a steep turn, keep your nose above the horizon, fellas. There we go. Nasty ending.
Nasty ending, indeed. Chronicle was the film. Thanks very much to Lena Lamont, our film reviewer, for texting that through. Chronicle was a better
name. Yeah. Did you go and see Chronicle?
No.
Oh, that's right. We all talked about the flying people.
No one did.
But never quite made the leap. You'd seen the best bit. You'd seen the flying people.
Exactly. TGF.co.nz to see this once more as a video. Look forward to catching up with you at South by Southwest, Vaughn Davis.
Yeehaw.
And follow his tweets over there at twitter.com/Vaughn Davis.